Hey there, Abiding fam, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey Lee, and today we are setting up the final month of the year in our bullet journals together. I'm really excited to dive into December with you all, and before we do, I want to give a big shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more later on because they are how I learned how to use this new medium that I was playing with in this video, which is gouache. Arteza kindly sent me this beautiful set of gouache colors, and I had so much fun playing with them in this setup. And to choose my colors, I actually got inspiration from this beautiful devotional book by Hillary here at Creative Faith Co. on YouTube and Etsy. She does such wonderful Bible journaling work and has an Etsy shop where she sells printables like this one and the ones I'm showing up in the corner that are just so gorgeous and match this devotional book that she wrote. It is an ABCs of Christmas where every single day focuses on a letter and a theme related to that letter and related, of course, to the hope that we have in Jesus. So I really loved the colors that she used in this devotional book, and I decided to use these colors because I like that they're not super traditional, and so I thought it would be fun to play off of that and use these colors to do a more traditional Christmas design. So I just got out my Artezas and started playing with which ones best matched the colors that Hillary used in her devotional book and picked out the ones that I thought coordinated the best. And that's a really great tip when you're somebody who feels like you're never really sure what colors go together. Figure out something that already exists that you really enjoy looking at, whether that's a paper pack or stickers or an ephemera or something in your home like a blanket or pillow. Choose something that you already really like the colors in, and then try and pick colors that match it, and that way you'll pick out ones that you know already go really well together and that you like visually. So what I'm doing is I'm using those colors that I selected to draw little bunches of mistletoe. So I just drew a bunch of stems at the top, and then I just drew lots of stems going off of it. And then from that center stem, you can draw little baby stems, and then you just put a leaf on each of those. And so you just slowly build that up with a lot of different leaves and stems playing off of each other. And that way you slowly build this really gorgeous little hanging mistletoe with all of those leaves. Now, right now it just looks like any kind of branches that you would see during a summertime theme or a springtime theme. But what brings this together as being Christmas is when you put that little bow at the top and put in some berries. So I took these pinks to play off of those colors once again from the devotional. So instead of using red for the berries or white, as you often see with mistletoe drawings, I decided to bring in this really pretty pink, and then I went ahead and put a red bow on it to still make sure that it had a Christmas vibe to it. So I really think that this bow is what ties it all together and just visually makes the person go, oh yes, this is Christmas, not another season. So I really loved the way that this turned out, and I really enjoyed playing with gouache. I think I might have a new medium to play with because gouache is the best of both worlds. If you don't know what gouache is, essentially it's as though acrylic paint and watercolor paints had a baby, and they created this wonderful baby that interacts with water in a really beautiful way that makes it more opaque, but also has the ability of acrylic to have really stunning color the first time that you put it on the page. You can play with it without water and it'll look really neat, but you can also really draw out the color and change the tone by adding water. I don't really know fully yet how to explain it because I'm still just starting to experiment, but I am definitely a fan of gouache and going to be using it a lot more. It's also really great for bullet journaling because unlike watercolor, it doesn't use nearly as much water. You don't need to saturate your page in the same way. And so I had zero issues with bleed through, running, any of that. Seriously, it was as if I was using markers, and even less problems than I have with some of my markers. So I really enjoyed playing with the gouache in my journal. So if I was going to recommend any paints for a bullet journal, gouache would probably be top of my list now. So on this other side, I'm actually using one of the printables from Hillary to make this little banner of month and then events. And I started writing out the days of the week and just decided Thursday didn't exist anymore, apparently. I started writing an F for Friday, but obviously had skipped Thursday, so I needed to white that out and try again. So I went ahead and put the dates in again, and then put in all of the days for the calendar. And then under that, I'm going to write in events for the month coming up. So a really simple calendar layout that I think is going to serve me really well in the month of December. And then, of course, here are some quick close-ups of these spreads before we dive into the rest of my December setup. Alright fam, so my next spread is going to be a gift list, both a wish list for myself and a ideas list for getting gifts for others. Gift giving is definitely 100% my love language. I love giving gifts to others. I love finding the perfect gift for somebody, and so this spread was definitely a must for my bullet journal. And to continue with our theme, I am once again doing a painting of that mistletoe hanging from the center of the page down onto both the left and right side, and then bringing in some of the berries. Now, before I continue this spread, I do want to share with you how I've been learning to paint with gouache, and that has been through Skillshare. Now, I've talked about Skillshare before and how it is an amazing online resource for tons and tons of art classes. So whether you're wanting to learn how to paint with gouache, like me, or maybe you're really interested in watercolor, or something totally different like photography or home design, there is a course for you on Skillshare. And what I love about Skillshare is that you're not only getting these really well curated classes that teach you these skills, but it's also a community where you can interact with others. And one of my favorite parts about Skillshare is getting to see what other people are creating as they're learning these skills as well. You guys know that I'm all about exploring your abiding creativity and really engaging in the learning process of creation. And this is a perfect place for you to do that. So I really encourage you to check it out, especially during the holidays when a lot of us have off and have more free time to do these sorts of hobbies, and during the new year as well, when a lot of us want to be putting those goals of learning new skills into action. So Skillshare was so kind to give me a link for you guys, which is down below, that will give you the first 2 months free to premium so that you can try any courses you want and really start exploring your own abiding creativity with Skillshare. So maybe that would be a great gift to yourself. And that also concludes my gift ideas spread. All I did was write gift ideas at the bottom and put in my wish list and for others there at the top. So a really simple place to write down your gift ideas for the upcoming Christmas season. Now this next spread is actually also a Christmas focused spread because it is a place that I wanted to capture things that I am learning through my devotionals, like the one from Hillary, the ABCs of Christmas, and through an Advent study that I want to be doing, and just through my own personal Bible study. So for this spread, I'm doing something a little different. I'm drawing holly now instead of the mistletoe. And this is also a super easy design where you're basically just making these little pointed leaves and then putting your 3 berries in the center, just little tiny dots, and as easy as that, you have holly. And I just repeated that pattern across the entire page, and I did it with a very light pink and this beautiful pearlescent green that comes in the Arteza gouache set. so that it's very pale in the background so that I can write over it and still have the words stand out. And what I did is I just made a numbered list, 1 through 5, which is where I'm going to write 5 things that I learned about Jesus in my studies, and then 1 through 10, a place for me to write things I am grateful for in the month of December. And I originally had intended to do those little painted banners again for me to write titles for those sections, but it didn't turn out the way I thought, and so what I did is I just took some of Hillary's great printables and pasted them right over it, and the spread turned out much better for it. And on the right, I'm doing a bucket list. So I made cute little corners using the same sort of painting technique that I did for the other mistletoe that I did on the other spreads, but in a more corner-like shape, for lack of better words right now, because I am doing this voiceover quite late. And I just filled in the middle with things that I want to do in December, like watch Hallmark movies and bake cookies and watch It's a Wonderful Life. So let me know down in the comments what is on your must-do bucket list for the month of December and the Christmas season. I would love to know and possibly steal a few items off of your list. And as always, guys, we draw the final spread of the final month of the year to a close with a weekly spread. This one is going to be super simple with just another little painted doodle of mistletoe and holly again in the corner. So this is holly, but I threw in some of the same kind of mistletoe leaves that I had done in the other spreads just to draw everything together. And then I did those same little banners that I'm going to write the days of the week on. And I used another printable from Hillary, this cute little heart, and wrote December on it to stick in the corner. So that is all I really did for this weekly. I like keeping my weeklies very simple because this is where I'm just putting in my to-dos and really using the bullet journal for pure function. So that is the completion of my December spreads, and therefore, guys, my completion of the entire year of 2019 in my bullet journal. It is hard to believe, but I'm so glad to have had all of you here for the ride. So if you've been here since January of 2019, let me know that in the comments. I would love to know if you've seen all 12 of my Plan With Me's from 2019, and I can't wait to see what 2020 has in store for us. To make sure you are there with us in 2020, be sure to subscribe to this channel and join the Abiding fam, and continue exploring your abiding creativity by checking out Skillshare in the links below, as well as Creative Faith Company and her great devotional. All right, guys, that's all I have for you, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, continue documenting your own life full of abiding joy, faith, and love.